In this video, we're going to go over how to handle your multi-quantity items once they have sold on a marketplace. So we're going to take a look at this item right here that has 5 quantities available. And what's important to note is that some marketplaces are compatible with multi-quantities and some marketplaces are not. So let's first take a look at what happens when you sell an item on a marketplace that is compatible with multi-quantities, such as eBay. You'd want to mark this item as sold. Then you'll see the sales details form with a few extra fields at the bottom. The first field is the quantity sold field. Now here you can input the total amount of quantities that you have sold. And notice that in this case, I can only input up to 5 quantities, and that's because that is the total amount available. Let's say I only sold 1 quantity of this item. Now we can scroll down and we can let Vendoo manage the remaining quantities of this item by selecting this option right here. Notice by selecting this option, what Vendoo will do after marking as sold is reduce the amount of quantities on all the marketplaces that are compatible with multi-quantities. And for the marketplaces that are not compatible with multi-quantities, such as Grailed, it will still keep 1 live listing up on the marketplace. So this way you can confidently mark your items as sold and know that you will still have your remaining quantities available for sale on each of the marketplaces. Now let's go over what happens when you sell an item on a marketplace that does not handle multi-quantities, such as Grailed. Let's go ahead and mark this item as sold. Once again, you have the quantity sold field. And what's new on this form is now we have this option right here to relist items on the marketplace that you sold on that is not compatible with multi-quantities. Notice that if you do not have this option selected, in this chart right here, you'll see that Vendoo will delist the quantity and the item completely from the marketplace, and it will mark it as sold. However, because there's still remaining quantities, you can now let Vendoo relist the item automatically as soon as you mark this item as sold. And now this will keep a live listing up on that marketplace, allowing you to still be able to sell all of your remaining quantities on each of the marketplaces. So let's go ahead and mark this item as sold. Now that we have marked this item as sold, we can see the sale details of that 1 quantity that's sold up here. And you'll notice that the status is still set for listed on each of the marketplaces that it was originally listed on. For marketplaces such as eBay, Etsy, and Depop that allow for multi-quantities, the quantity has been reduced to 4. And for marketplaces that do not handle multi-quantities, the quantity remains as 1. And what's really cool is we can look into the inventory page, and this item will be reflected on 2 different sections, under the active section and under the sold section. And this is because we still have active quantities available for sale, and we still have some quantities that have sold. So this item is now reflected on 2 different sections. And this way you can keep track of the quantities that are still available for sale, and you can have your analytics page fully up to date with all of the quantities that you have sold.